Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at Roman artillery. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, with special editions on Thursdays. Moving right along, mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. What types of artillery did the Romans use? What type of edge did these weapons give the Romans? Did the Romans have adequate siege weapons? Today we will answer these questions as we take a look at how the Romans used their artillery. The Greeks and the Romans both made extensive use of artillery to shoot large bolts or spherical stones or metal balls. Occasionally they used early thermal weapons. There was also heavy siege artillery, but more mobile and lighter field artillery came into prominence with the Romans. This was evident in pitched battles, especially in the Roman imperial period. Technology developed quite rapidly from the earliest gratifitas, around 399 before the Common Era, to the most advanced torsion artillery in about 300 before the Common Era. Let's start with a look at the catapult. The Romans had a number of catapults that they used in different situations. The three main ones were the Scorpio, the Ballista, and the Onager. The catapult could launch a projectile over a great distance without the aid of gunpowder or other propellants. This is done through a sudden release of stored potential energy to release its payload. Most catapults convert tension or torsion energy that was more slowly and manually built up within the device before release. This was done via springs, bows, twisted rope, elastic, or any numerous other materials and mechanisms. In use since ancient times, the catapult has proven to be one of the most persistently effective mechanisms in warfare. A popular Roman style of catapult was known as the onager. It was a torsion-powered siege engine that typically had a bowl, a bucket, or sling at the end of its throwing arm. The Roman Scorpio was another type of torsion siege engine that was also used as a field artillery piece. This weapon was especially popular in the early imperial period. This was due to its accuracy. The Scorpio could launch its darts and easily hit any foe within 100 meters. It is important to note that the catapult and the crossbow are closely intertwined. Primitive catapults were essentially the product of relatively straightforward attempts to increase the range and penetrating power of missiles by strengthening the bow which propelled them. Another type of catapult that was popular with the Romans was the trebuchet. This type of catapult uses a long arm to throw a projectile. It was a common, powerful siege weapon until the advent of gunpowder. The design of the trebuchet allows it to launch projectiles of greater weights further distances than that of a traditional catapult. There are two main types of trebuchet. The first is the traction trebuchet, or the mangonel. It uses manpower to swing the arm. It actually first appeared in China in the 4th century before the Common Era and was carried westward by the Avars. The latter, and often larger and more powerful, was the counterweight trebuchet. It is also known as the counterpoise trebuchet. This differs from the original in that it uses a counterweight to swing the arm. Now let's take a look at the ballista. In common parlance, it is often referred to as a bolt thrower. This ancient weapon was used to launch either bolts or stones at a target. It differed in its mechanics in that it used two levers with torsion springs instead of a torsion prod. This powerful weapon could launch a 27-kilo stone, which is 60 pounds, and hit a wall 503 meters or 550 yards away. By contrast, enemy bowmen could only fire arrows up to a distance of 100 meters. It is quite clear to see that with such weapons of dominance, the Romans had an edge on both the battlefield or laying siege to a city. This brings us to the end of Roman artillery. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. If you enjoyed this video, please consider joining our channel by becoming a sponsor. Your support will enable us to continue putting out quality videos, and buying me a coffee always makes my day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.